All right, testing, testing, testing. Okay, no more audio problems. Nice. Okay. Oh, we can watch me watch my stream. Nice. Okay, sorry. All right. Okay, it's cool. Sorry about that. I rearranged my office last week, and I don't know. Apparently, unplugging and plugging things back into your computer, it grabs a different audio device. Okay. Anyway, so this is mostly for the YouTube recording, since I don't see anyone viewing yet. But today I am picking up on the curl2 PS. I'll call it a module, just because I guess it's probably going to turn into a module at some point. But essentially, it's right now it's a single command that I wrote, I think, 2 weeks ago on a previous stream. And hold on, I think this lighting is looking really weird. Is this lighting looking weird on me? It is. I am significantly brighter on this side of my face than I am on this side of my face. That bulb is out, that's why. Okay. Oh well. So I started okay, so I started the curl2 PS module. Essentially, I want to take a string that is a working curl command and convert it into the InvokeRestMethod equivalent. So in my repository, I've got one function, convert to -irm, and I discovered, so I got a pull request from Stefan. I worked on his PS-HTML module last week. He returned the favor, did some work on this module. That was nice. And realized that it has a lot more problems than I expected. So he submitted an issue, and then I also submitted 3 issues that I found while I was reading through his issue. So essentially today, what I want to run through is these 3 issues. So the first and probably the most important is that this is such a facepalm moment for me. So in my examples even that I give on taking a curl string, so I've got this in the examples. Sorry, I just got another notification. So in this curl string, you notice that if we scroll over, it actually specifies the URL that this curl command is going to use. But in my output for my InvokeRestMethod command, that doesn't get included. That is because in convert to IRM, I am, and I'll explain this as I go along. And if you got questions, let me know in the chat. I can answer them as I go. So I'm matching that URL, line 13. And I actually pull it out on line 17. So I remove the curl at the start, and then I take that URL out. After it's assigned to line 14, the URL, hey, glad to see you join. I don't know if you know much about regular expressions, but that's what I'm really working on today. And by no means am I doing it because I'm an expert on it. I'm doing it because it's the best way to do this, and I need to get better at them. But I'm just running through. I'm not sure if you just joined or not, but I'm running through what I'm going to be doing. But in this function, I actually I do grab that URL using regular expressions, and hello. You know, this viewer thing on Twitch, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it must not be real time, because I don't know if you guys just jumped in or have been here for a little bit, but it's not it's not changing. And you know what? I wonder if I'm actually even doing low latency. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it didn't change. Interesting. I don't know how often that does update. But since you just jumped in, I've got a couple of issues in this module that I've submitted after I had someone else submit an issue that I noticed. And so I'm going to be working through that. So specifically, this commandlet is convert to IRM. It takes a curl command in a string format and converts it to InvokeRestMethod. I decided that it's a lot of work to do that, and I didn't want to write a blog post for it. I'd rather write a function, so that's where this came from. I streamed on it 2 weeks ago. If you want to watch it, I've got it on my YouTube channel. But the biggest issue that I'm going to fix first is that, so out of the curl command, let me go back to my examples here. So out of this curl command, it has a URL in the curl command, but convert to IRM I'm running here. It doesn't actually include it in the output. That was kind of a facepalm moment when I noticed that I didn't do that. And it's because I grabbed that URL, use regular expressions to match it, and then don't actually include it in my out string. The out string is what actually gets output at the end of the function. So who needs a URL anyway, right? They're not that important. No. So besides that, if you've read any API docs, they use curl as their examples, which is why I wanted to write this. But they also often are multi-line strings. So currently, convert to IRM does not support multi-line strings. And in Bash, they're separated by that backslash. So I have an example here. So this command would not work. And this actually, I got this from Stefan when he submitted his issue. And then the last thing is for regular expressions, my parameter matching, so it isn't very good. And I explain it here. I'll explain as I go along. If you guys got questions, jump in the chat. I'm happy to explain it. But just really briefly, so in my example, I want to match out of this string. I want to match the parameter name and then the parameter value, and then parameter name, parameter value. So I want to match those as I go along in the string. And right now, I don't account for quotes very well. So if that string inside of quotes contains a space dash, then my script assumes that that's the next parameter. Not very intelligent. But that's what I want to fix. That's what we're doing today. So enough of this explaining. Let me switch over to Visual Studio Code. And yes, we're going to make it better. So like I said, you guys might have missed this. This isn't a module right now. It's going to be. But for today, I might get to that. Well, I only have one commandlet, so I don't know. For today, we're going to just work on it as a single function and go from there, because that's what I've got so far. The first issue I mentioned, which is well, you know what? Here, I'm actually going to take and assign these issues to me, since I'm going to work on them. Let's see, assign me. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so when I had Stefan submit his PR, I was like, oh, I should probably start tracking these issues and assigning myself. All right, so I'm going to start with these two and potentially get some multi-line strings. I'm not sure how much work this is going to be. We'll find out. Okay, so I out of the past string, so curl string, which is the single parameter, I'm matching this URL. So I got this nice URL regex. I didn't write that. I would love to have written that. It would have taken me a long time to write something not as good. So I found someone that wrote one ahead of time. But from that, I grabbed the URL, and that URL, I then here line 16, I've got to escape it so that line 17, I can actually remove it from that curl string, because with curl, let's pull this up, curl man pages. I do not believe that the URL requires an explicit parameter. So, yeah, it does not. And so that is why I'm just grabbing that URL out of there first, because everything else in that curl string should be in parameter name, parameter value as a pair. And so I can make some assumptions with regular expressions because of that. as long as the URL isn't in there, which is why I remove it first. And so what I need to do is InvokeRestMethod has a named parameter for the URI. So I've got the URL, so I'm going to add, so this one's actually going to be really easy. Outstring plus equals dash URI, and then it's going to be the URL. Double quotes, not single quotes. And that actually solves that problem. Do I do a one whole PR for one line? I think not. I don't know, it might be best practice. In this case, I'm going to, you think so? Yeah, probably is best practice. Gosh darn it. Yep, okay, I'll do it. We'll do some best practice Git stuff here. So I'm going to branch this, dev branch from the master, or I guess the master and header both the same. Okay, so I'm branching it, and I just discovered that you could do all this in VS Code, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I was using the GitHub client. I haven't learned Git at the command line, even though I think there's a PowerShell module that someone wrote for it, if I remember correctly. All right, fixed issue, and what issue was that? 5, fixed issue. You know what? I should probably even test it before I just assume that it's fixed. So let's do a quick test. Oh no, I don't need to switch back to GitHub. I can just grab the example out of here. So curl string. I can't, since this is a markdown file, I can't, oh my goodness. Did I not grab? I did not grab. I'm gonna just do a scratch file here while we do this. All right, so then we'll do convert. Is that showing up okay for you guys? I realize I may not have zoomed in. Doesn't like, yeah, I know that, but I always forget that it doesn't like multi-lines. Oops, where am I at? Convert. Okay, now it's just, I'm not sure what it's doing, but it's not letting me type now in the current terminal. All right, let's just clear the screen. Okay, convert to, okay, sweet, thank you. Convert to IRM, and we got curl string. So we should get, oh, okay, so good thing I didn't straight commit that. You notice that there's no space between InvokeRestMethod and dash URI. So we want to add a space there. We'll re-import that, rerun that InvokeRestMethod again. Sweet. And the headers, I've got the headers in JSON notation, and then I convert it from JSON because InvokeRestMethod specifically needs a hash table, and convert from JSON converts it to a hash table or to an object. I can't remember exactly why I did that, but it's so it would output and I could copy paste that and run it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and commit that. So fixed issue, no, number 5 adds URI to output. Bam. Okay. So, and if anyone's never done a pull request in GitHub, we are going to do that as soon as I actually push it to GitHub. Okay. That needs to be done first. There we go. And there we go. Dev, compare, and pull request. Fix number 5 adds URI to output. Create PR. I don't have any templates in my repo. I will at some point. I'm sure I've got some templates somewhere. Okay, we're going to merge that. Confirm and merge. There we go. And now we can, oh, you know what? You know what I should have done? I think you can actually reference. I think you can actually reference issues. I should have done that. I think you can do that by, can we just say number, yes, here we go, fixed. I think it is, but if I believe if I actually tag it in a comment, it will show, I might be making stuff up here, but it will show reference this issue. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to see it referenced, but I'm not sure if that happened before. Maybe I should have checked that before I went and added that comment. That's a good point. I'm not sure. Either way, I wanted this reference in here. Yeah, I'm not sure if it works in the commit message. Now I wish I had checked that. So maybe we'll do that on the next one. We'll do that on the next one. Okay. But we can go ahead and close issue. Nice. Bam. Okay, cool. So now we will improve parameter value regex to better detect strings with spaces. So this is going to get really really complicated. Oh, nice. Definitely look through this. Okay. Because what we have to do is, let me pull up an example here. We have to, let's actually expand that out. So what I want, nope, that's terrible format. I am going to open up this on a new tab and look right here. Okay, this is better. So what we want to do, that is a terrible example. Oh, here we go. Sorry. So what we want to do is I want to use a regular expression to match, first of all, a new parameter name, and secondly, the parameter value. But what I am currently doing is I'm matching from the new parameter name until it gets a space, dash, and then something that isn't a dash. But the problem with that is, what if inside of quotes, which we know is a string, there's a space, dash, something that isn't a dash? Well, then in current form, convert to IRM considers that to be the end of the parameter value. And I've actually got an example in here where that wouldn't work. So if, here we go, here's the example. So if it has, data URL encoded, and in that data, it has value equals example, space, dash. I just made something up. Like, I don't know if this is a legitimate something that could happen, but in current form, this thinks that this is the end, this is the next parameter, and it thinks that's the end of the parameter value. Yeah, I know, I completely agree. That's why I spent a lot of time thinking about it and even wrote an example regular expression that might work. So we're going to do some testing. So what I need to do is, if I match a double or single quote, then I need to match anything in there until it gets the next double or single quote. And that is the parameter value. And so what I've got here to start with is, and we're going to see if this works. I wrote this not having tested it. So I've got 3 different matches that could work. So I got the single quotes. So I've got open. Is this actually zoomed in enough? I'm not sure how zoomed in that is, if you guys can see it or not. But I've got my single quote, and I've got it escaped. I couldn't remember if I needed to escape single quotes inside of a regular expression or not. And then anything that isn't a single quote, then another single quote. And that is the parameter value. And then same thing for double quotes, literally the exact, just copy paste, made it double quotes. Or anything that's not a space. So the assumption I made there is that if the parameter value has a space, it will use quotes. If it does not have a space, then a space signifies the end of the parameter value. And I'm like confusing myself here. Well, I'm really glad I wrote this down while I was in a sane mind state. Okay, so we're going to try this. It's going to take a little bit of reworking, but we're going to try it. So here's what I've got currently. Okay, let's actually, yay for shortcut keys. Yeah, there you go, hide the terminal. Okay. So I'm going to explain this to you guys so I refresh my memory too as I go. So what I do is I take the curl string, which is the passed value, which starts with curl, and I actually, line 17, I remove that curl starting, I remove the URL, and so what it should now be, if it is a correctly formatted curl string, and for now, I'm going to make that assumption that is a correctly formatted curl string until I figure out how to determine if it's not. And if there's basic authentication, I remove it. That's not immediately important right now, so I'm gonna ignore that. So it assumes that the working string is going to start with a dash. So that's what I've got going on line 28, and that is going to be the parameter name, and it assumes the parameter name lasts until it hits a space. So that's what dash or /s is. This is saying anything that isn't a space. So it's got the caret pointing upwards. I think that's what that character is. I always forget. But this character right here, it's number 6 on the keyboard if you hit shift. And so it will match all of that. And I'm going to run through this with an example, or I'm not just going to sit here and explain the whole thing because I just might as well just shut the stream off and go do something else at that point. And then to match the end of that parameter value, this is where I was saying it matches a space, a dash, and then something that isn't a space. That's what's going on there. That's what I'm going to replace. So what we should be able to do, I'm going to copy and paste down that regular expression that I had up here. Okay. Yeah, it's a good thing I did. I'm now liking that I did a separate PR for the other one, because now I don't have to worry about multiple changes, because this is going to be screwy. Okay, so the parameter name. Okay, so let's see, the working string will always start with the parameter name. So it's a dash parameter name. So what I need to do is I need to add a dash in. Oh crap! Except it's 1 or 2 in the param. So the string starts with a dash for sure, or at least I'm assuming it should start with a dash for sure. And it's 1 or 2 of them, but those aren't included in the parameter name because down here in my switch statement, I'm assuming the parameter name doesn't have a dash in it. But now I'm thinking that I probably should include that dash. So I'm going to add that dash back into the actually what's matched here. So, and this question mark, and then inside of the square brackets like this, or the triangle brackets, angled brackets, whatever you call these. This is using a named property to match. So this is what's producing this matches.param because I have the question mark and then param inside of those in case someone watching is wondering. And so now the parameter name will include the dash. And I don't remember why I have parameter length here. Oh, it's state the parameter value. We're not going to need that here in a minute. So escape parameter name. So now this should actually work because it will have the dashes. But what I need to do is for this switch statement for now to keep this working is I'm going to trim. Whoa, nope. I'm going to trim any dashes out of there. And so that should keep that working even though the dashes are now present when they weren't before. Okay, so escape param name. So I'm escaping that in case it has something that needs to be escaped because I don't want that to be a regular expression. And then the parameter value, it's assuming there's a space here, notice. And then the param value is now that regular expression that I already explained. Okay. So now I'm going to see, let's do some testing before we go any further. Okay, so we need a curl string. Let's grab one out of the README. I like this one. We're going to use this one. That doesn't have parameters in it. This other one has good parameters. Let's use this one. Or this is already in Scratch. Yeah, it's already in Scratch. Okay. Okay, so now curl string is loaded as curl string. And so we should now, I'm not going to worry about the out string yet. So we're going to match for the URL in here. So it is true. Matches 0. So there's the URL. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that out here. And I'm going to remove it from that string. So just like I mentioned before, and set it to working string. Working str. And so now that's good. That's what I wanted. So now working string doesn't have curl at the beginning, and it doesn't have the URL in it. So you can see that down here below. I might actually be, I think I might, oh, there you go. Gave it an error, so that made it so. I feel like I should zoom that in a little bit maybe. So there you go. I don't think I'm blocking it anymore. But this is the working string that we are working on. And so the next thing, so while working string matches a dash at the beginning, so we're going to go ahead and do this match. Okay, sweet. So that did match. So matches dot param. So we have the named match equals dash h. Perfect. It's still got the dash in it like we wanted. And I'm going to skip the parameter length, so that's not immediately important. So then escaped param name. I'm going to, I don't think, is dash need to be escaped? Okay, that didn't, does parameter name not have any value? That should have actually had something in it. Oh. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, that's why I didn't escape. Okay, let's do that again. And so now escape param name should be, oh, just dash h. So it doesn't need to be escaped. I guess that step doesn't need to be there, but we'll see. Okay, so, but the first parameter in working str, does it have quotes? I forgot to actually look. It does. Okay, so this is a great test to see if this works. Oh, let's give it a try. Okay, so it matched. So now we should have a matches param value. Dang it. Oh, I matched a double quote. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. So this is an easy one. I just need to say that it's more than one character, which is what the plus sign is for. Okay. So let's try that. That should actually work. Yes, it does. Okay. It's cool. So the only problem here is it has the quotes on it, and we want to match it without the quotes. Yeah, I'm gonna be straight with you. Regular expressions, they always throw me off, and so I'm a little surprised that it actually worked. Especially I always expect like it to have like a super complicated regular expression that works, but in this case, it's not super complicated, luckily, right? But I'm about to make it slightly more complicated because I don't want it to match the quotes. So to do that, we're gonna rework this a little bit. So I'm gonna take this, and we're gonna actually, this is gonna get, I just said this is not complicated. It's about to get a little more complicated. So param value is gonna be like that. Oh, hold on, no, I still need those. I still need those parentheses because I don't want to match the escape param. Sorry, because these pipes are in here. So param value is just what's in between the quotes. And same for right here. So just what's in between the quotes. Uh-oh, I gotta start scrolling here. And then this is also, anything that's not a space is the param value. Okay, so the big question is, will this actually work still? Okay, it does. matches dot param value. Nice. Okay, so it works with one example. Cool. That's good. That's good. But with the header, the next thing it has to do. Oh, so before I was getting the index of that next dash and using that. You know what? I'm just gonna delete that because that was that is what I'm fixing. And I'm gonna comment this so I don't forget match parameter value. Don't match quotes. Put some notes in there for future me that has to read that. Okay, so and now, so parameter value, you can see that I'm actually getting the substring with the indexes. That's a bunch of garbage. We're just gonna delete that. Nope, we're gonna comment that out in case I need to remember what I used to do. So now I should be, well, I can just say parameter value equals matches dot param value. Okay, so then, switching the parameter name dot trim, so this should get rid of the dash. It does. So there's just my H. So this case, if we look at the working str, and just the first part of it's important. If I'm covering it up, it's not a big deal. So right now I'm matching this. No. So I'm matching this is the parameter name. This is the parameter value. And the next parameter is this guy. The problem now is I have to figure out how to match, how to remove this, how to extract this. Ugh. I'm thinking that I might need to add those quotes back in so I can actually match it. Gosh darn it. I'm thinking here what the best way is to do that. Because ultimately, the way that this is working in the while loop is it matches the param name value, then it removes them from the string, then it goes back up to the top of the while loop, does the same thing until it runs out of parameters. So I have to be able to remove that to do that with that method that I'm using. And I'm too frazzled right now to come up with another method to do it because of regular expressions. Okay, so you notice I did have here on line 40 and 41 replacing the quotes out of there if they were needed. And I do that sometimes. I'm thinking through this. Ultimately, the output needs to be a PowerShell string. So actually, sometimes in the output, the quotes are needed. So riddle me that. We should keep the quotes. Because if it's a body that's in, say, JSON format, then it needs, or PowerShell needs the quotes. Yeah, so we're gonna match those quotes. So I'm gonna undo that extra complication. So Occam's razor on regular expressions, apparently. Param value. Can we capture with the quotes and with? Oh. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I'm just, yeah. So I could just call this capture group command value quotes. Let's see what that looks like. So if we go matches, well, I've got the regex right here. So, so out here, I'll show you what I'm working on. So I already had the parameter, sorry, the parenthesis for the entire thing, and I just added another capture group, or a named capture group that captured it. And you know what? You just answered my other problem as well. So So just a minute ago, I was saying, well, we need to figure out how to remove that entire string. Look, I've already got that in matches. So matches 0 is already the entire string. I don't think I'm blocking that. So, and yes, yeah, that's great. There are times when when the quotes aren't needed. So we're going to need to do this. I'm going to need to test this on so there are some parameters. Actually, let's do this. So there are some parameters that don't have quotes, and I'm not sure. And I need to know. Well, so the parameters that don't have quotes in curl, is it safe to assume that they also won't need quotes on InvokeRestMethod? There are too many really deep questions here today. One of them that I know doesn't is the method. So for instance, so in curl -x get, that doesn't have quotes in curl. And in PowerShell, it doesn't need quotes either. But are there other parameters in curl that may or may not need quotes? Okay, so I have just decided that for now, we are going to assume that if curl doesn't provide them with quotes, we don't need them with quotes in InvokeRestMethod either. We are going to operate with that assumption, wrong or otherwise, for now. Okay, so now we have the quotes, the parameter value with and without quotes. And you know what? I don't think I need to assign that to another variable. Wow, couldn't think of that. Because, so for this case, so I'm switching the parameter name. So depending on the parameter, it's going to do different things. So I can actually, we're just going to comment that out instead of deleting it. So this takes the parameter value without the quotes. So I can say split equals matches dot param value without the quotes dot split by the colon, and that should work for headers, I think. And so the method with or without quotes, we can just say matches dot param value quotes. So even if that parameter doesn't have quotes, it will. I'm making an assumption here that we can really easily test. So working string equals -x get. So now if we do a regular expression and escape param name. Escaped param name equals -x. Okay, so now it should actually work. Sorry about that. There we go. So matches. And you notice that this string, so -x space get, doesn't have any quotes. So both the param value and the param value quotes are exactly the same. You know, I always wondered where multiple capture groups came in handy. Especially nested capture groups. Wow. That was a good one. So let's param value quotes dot trim. So this should method get. Nice. And dash verbose. So there's the curl has a dash v for verbose. And then body. Yeah, I'm learning as I go. And this is a nice thing about streaming about things that you may not be familiar with. Especially got someone on that's helping. Thank you, by the way. So body should be with quotes, I think. We're just gonna guess. Matches dot param value quotes. Was there an S on the end of that? Yes, there was. Okay. And then trimming any space off of it there shouldn't be a space. I'll leave the trim there. I put it there for some reason. And then an unknown, we're just going to say matches dot param value quotes. So just in case I don't have this function set to accept a certain parameter, because you notice I've only got headers, requests, verbose, and data. Curl has a lot of parameters. I'm just going to say unknown. And actually, instead of outputting matches.parameter value, I'm going to say matches 0, because that is the entire param name and value. We're going to do that. Okay. And so then, instead of doing a substring, we can do working string replace. Actually, I'm going to comment that out so that doesn't come back up. Working string replace. Let's escape it. Escape working str equals regex escape matches 0. I could call that escape working string escape matches. Escape match. Okay, so we're going to replace escaped match with nothing. So we're going to remove it, essentially. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to do is try this out on one. So we're going to do this. I got to build my working string again here. So now working str should be, there we go. Okay, so we don't use parameter length anymore. Nice. So we're going to match it with our regular expression there, which is true. And then use our new regular expression with the multiple capture groups. And so matches 0 should be the entire thing. Nice. And this actually needs to be working str equals, and then I'm gonna trim this sucker as well. All right, and so now working string should have the next parameter. I guess the next question is, does this actually work? Let's find out. All right. So we've got our, do we still have our curl string? Whoops, not on the script. Curl string in memory. We do. Okay, so let's give this a shot. So convert to IRM curl string. Oh, we got a lot of outputs. Oh, and the URI needs to be in quotes. But it appears to have worked. Okay, so I'm going to fix this output. Here, I think this is I'm actually covering that right now. If you guys want to see where it outputted, there you go. But I need to, let's see, do an out null here. And there it is. Out null there as well. All right, then I just want to, and put quotes around the URL. Oh, that just made me think, what if there are quotes around the URL in the curl command? That's an edge case. We'll call that an edge case for right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll add quotes to that. And yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, we'll get this working and worry about that another time. Okay, so that looks workable. Well, I'm reading through it and you can't even see the whole thing. Sorry about that. So we've got the URI that wasn't grabbed before. We have the methods. So as far as I'm concerned, it appears that this method works with this one example. So I am going to grab, let's see, do I have another good example here? Yes, we're going to use this example. I'm going to go back to my Scratch file. Oh, got too many quotes in there. All right, and let's try this. So this one is a little different because it has, so this one has basic authentication in front of the URL. Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm just using my mouse to jump all over the place. So that's what this is. If you've seen a curl command, it's got username, colon, password. In this case, this is dummy data, just so you know. And so that's what I'm testing for there. And in this case, this one also had a body that was, oh, I'm pointing where you, whoops, or it can't be seen on screen. There we go. Let me do one more. In this case, this one has the URI method get, and it thinks this is a link. VS Code does. And the body, it doesn't have anything in the body, but it has headers. So this one created the basic headers, converted it to base 64. So that's the thing that did in the command. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is get some other examples. Dropbox. So I was working in the Dropbox API not too long ago. Let me grab the docs from here. If I remember correctly, they had some decent examples. We're going to find out. Okay. Now it's still loading. It's taking forever. Okay. Here we go. So this is post data. Interesting. Let's try this one. So you notice that this one's also a multi-line string. I haven't accounted for that yet. So what we're gonna do is just make it a single line string. So that's what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a curl command, and we're going to convert it and see what that looks like. So we've got our URI, which looks good. Method post. Oh, no, this one broke. Oh, so this one. So here's another screwy thing. So you can have a good example apparently. So let's look at it. So you notice that this one has quotes inside of quotes, but these ones are escaped. So in bash, apparently the backslash, I shouldn't say apparently, in bash, the backslash escapes the following character. So in our regular expression, we need to account for that if we want it to work. And I do. Okay, so we'll make it work. Why? Yeah. Wait, why do I want to make it work, or why do they do that? The nice thing about using like SDKs and stuff is they do this for you. So curl will do that for you in the background. Don't have to worry about making it work. But, oh, I forget which one was the second one already. I'm sorry. Why do they do it, or why do I want to do that? I'm actually going to pause here, and I'll wait for your response so I get them straight. But I can actually answer why I wanted to do that. Just because I want it to just work. I figure you. Oh, why do they do that? Yeah. So that you can have it in strings. I don't know, to make it use the user experience. I don't know. It's the best I got. So, but it should be. Should be fairly easy, right? So we should be able to say, so I'm looking at the params here. So that was a double quote. So I'm going to focus on fixing that one so that we can test it on this, in this case. So we should be able to say we either have anything that's not a, sorry, I'm like thinking and talking at the same time. Anything that's not a single quote, or anything that's not, no, I think I'm making this, crap. I've been making this too complicated. So inside of square brackets, we might have to actually test this. Can you have parentheses? All right, sweet. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate your help. I appreciate you sharing in my regular expression misery. That's why I love that XKCD comic I linked. Whenever I do regular expressions, I always think of that. So I'm gonna see if I can get this to work. And I don't know if we can have parentheses inside of square brackets. So we're gonna try, because I'm always, if it's not gonna break something, if not in production, why not just try it and see what happens? Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm gonna commit this as is, because this works except for escaped quote double quotes, and I still got all the comments in there. I'll remove those. Okay, because this is a working state. I don't remember what number that was for my issue at support for improved parameter value regex. Yeah. So number 2. So number 2 now, strings with quotes for values. Is that too long? No, it isn't. Okay, cool. Save all and commit. Okay. Okay, so now let's do some testing with regular expressions. So let's get, so I want to get that value. Oh, I'm looking at my readme. I want to be looking in Scratch. There we go. Okay, so data, there we go. So this is the string that I want to use. Okay, there we go. And so I want to not match the end of the string on this. I want to match it on this sucker. So it's this slash question mark that we're going to be skipping. We're trying to skip anyway. Let's get rid of the terminal. So the question is, inside of a square bracket, can we have parentheses? Let's find out. So you want to say not a double quote. Sorry, I'm thinking as I type. Or a slash double quote. Oh, let's see if this actually works. Okay, so working string, I need to match this first, and I get a true. So working string, yeah, okay, there's a new one. Matches is dash dash data. Okay, so we're gonna escape that, and that didn't, so that match didn't actually run. I'm gonna guess and say that that's just not valid. Let's, nope, that doesn't need to be escaped. Okay, let's okay, so I'm not getting a true or false out of that at all. Okay, that's not what I expected. Well, does escape param name have any value? I don't think it does. Oh, okay, so That's why it's not actually working, because I didn't say parameter name equals. Okay, that was an easy one, luckily. Okay, so now we should, I'm going to add that as quotes back in, or sorry, quotes, parentheses. So, or / escape double quote. Oh, we're still not getting anything. Escaped parameter name is dash s data. That's what we expected. Why isn't that working? Is our matches just not working anymore? That's working. So the here, let's see. I'm actually curious to see what this looks like if we just straight output it. So here's, am I blocking that? No. So here's that regular expression that I just wrote. So either a not a quote or a / quote. Because inside of the square parens is a range, right? Oh, here, I'm going to rework that a little bit. So what we're going to say here is we're going to, well, first we're just going to delete that. Oh, actually, yeah. No, sorry. I'm just having a ball reading these regular expressions. Okay, so this should, doesn't work. Oh, it's just not outputting true or false. Okay, want that back in. Okay, so I am a moron. I have out null on the end of it. I'm wondering why it's not outputting. Gosh darn it, dude. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa, okay, so that looks better. Except parameter value, it's not doing what I expected. Because it has, what does working string look like? So it's matching up until after the colon. So working str after the colon is a space, which isn't a quote or a / quote. Okay, now I'm confusing myself. Now, this is why they say if you use regular expressions, you got one more problem. Okay. Okay, so this, it matches like I expect from one double quote to the next double quote. So anything that's not a quote. Oh, so what I was doing wouldn't work because it would say anything that's not a double quote. So that what I was doing before wouldn't work because it would match on anything that's not this, so it would still match. I need to sit and think about regular expressions for a minute. Ponder my life and why I decided to do it this way. So param value. So anything that's not a quote. And if we want to, there, I got it. So I'm gonna put this in parentheses. So anything that's not a quote or, oof. So what if we did? Yeah, I got it. Okay, so we're gonna put this in parentheses like this and have a slash with a question mark. So it can have nope. So it could potentially have a question mark. No, because that requires. So what I'm thinking is if it does have that, Well, it'd be slash slash. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, so we're going to say, so we can either match that or anything that's not, but continuously. I'm confusing myself here, but let's see what that does. Yes. Okay. Oh, that worked. Okay. Okay. All right. Behind every long, complicated, regular expressions is hours and hours of pain. I guess it hasn't been hours yet, but this isn't that complicated either. Okay. 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 And I'm going to stop saying okay so we can actually test it. So now if we do, convert to IRM, well, what is my curl string? What is that variable? Nice, it's that Dropbox one again. So now we're going to do convert to IRM curl string. And oh, let me set it up so you guys can see it a little bit. Actually see it instead of just trying to read it through my head here. So here's the output. So we got the URI, we got the method, we got the headers. Okay, that's still screwed up because dash dash header. Interesting. Okay, I'm not sure why it did that, but pulled out of the, included in the headers dash dash header. Okay, so you know what? The best way to fix that is to do some debugging. I'm getting to the point where there's no better way to do it. One might argue that there is never a better way to do it. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to just F9 that and I F8 it. Whoops, did it again. All right. All right, so now let's do this again. All right, working string match escape params. Okay, so what is working string right now? Oh, okay, we don't care about that. Next one. Thank you. Let's see, switch. Okay, we're not. Oh, sorry. I don't do a lot of debugging, so we're going to, oh, continue is what I wanted. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Okay. Okay, so now, working str. So dash dash header. Okay, so this is the one that I am particularly interested in. So we've got the header and escaped param name should be just dash dash header. So now if I go down to the next one, we've got, so matches should be 1, 2, param value quotes. So, oh, okay. So I see the issue here. So that matched all of that. Okay, so that excuse me, regular expression worked for that one, but not for the rest of it. Okay. Okay, so why did it do that? So you can see it matched from, it should have just matched to the quote, the end of the quote, right? But, or the double quote, sorry. But slash one and on. Oh, that question mark shouldn't be there. That's what that is. Okay. Let's try it again. In the first run through, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that question mark essentially said you can keep matching as many quotes in there even if it doesn't have a slash in front of it, because the slash was one or none, which is what the question mark does. Okay. So we're going to stop that, and I believe that it's going to... Oh, I'm going to stop, not get too confident here. I hope that it's going to work this time. So if we run it again. Oh, let me actually set it so you can see it. So here it is again here. So we've got the URI. I'll use my mouse to point instead of my hands. We've got the method post, and we've got the body, which is exactly how it was passed. Nice. And we've got the headers, we got content type, and we got an authorization header. Is that what that... So the question is that what that curl string looked like? So we've got the method of... Here, maybe I'll make the terminal a little bigger so we can actually look at both of them at the same time. So we've got post at that URI bam, method post, nice. So we've got a header, authorization bearer, headers, authorization bearer, nice. Content type application/JSON, nice. And then, dang it. Okay, so one minor problem. So dash data. Got 2 dashes. Wonder why I have that. So data equals primary value quotes dot trim. So what that means is this dash data should be after body, and it's... Oh, I'm looking at the curl string, interpreting it like it should be InvokeRestMethod. Okay, so this dash data down here should be up in the InvokeRestMethod as a body. And it is. Body. Yeah. Wow, that's great. Except, oh crap. Except that. So that's JSON. It does actually look like it should work. What I'm thinking here is when you take a PowerShell object and convert it to JSON, does it also include these escapes? Because the body is as JSON. Because I know for curl, it needs these escapes in the quotes. But does it for PowerShell? Oh my goodness. So many weird edge cases. So let's make an object. Or wait, can we? Screen is missing a terminator. So I'm taking that straight JSON and trying to convert from JSON. Yeah, it doesn't like those escaped quotes in there. Okay, so that actually won't work with InvokeRestMethod because it wants it in JSON format. So for instance, that one is, so we can actually just make a JSON object. JSON equals ace. Oh my goodness. Blah. So we'll make a hash table. So async job ID equals, and I'm just gonna blah. So JSON, so that's a hash table. And in JSON notation, it doesn't escape the quotes. So either we need to account for that in the matching string by removing them. No, we do another one. Well, this is the output. I'm pointing with my fingers again. This is the output we need, but this is the output that we're getting. Okay. So all we need to do, all we need to do is replace a slash quote with just the normal quote. Okay, so should we do that in data, or should we do that up in working string? Ooh, and then another problem there is if we do another, we'll be doing a replace, not a match. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna do it this way. So replace slash single quote. Well, we're working with double quotes right now. We'll get to that. Slash double quote, and I'm escaping it in regular expressions. That's what the slash there is, with just a double quote. Okay, so that should hopefully work. Let's find out. Okay, we're gonna try that again, and now. Oh, okay. What I should have. Wait, hold on a second. I don't want to do that to the whole working string. Okay, that was pretty dumb. So we're gonna not do that there, but I am gonna cut that, use it for later. So for the let's see, for the body. This is where I'm going to do the replace, since that is a body or a data or body issue. That's where it should be replaced. So let's see if that actually. So the body should now be. That's not going to work because you notice it's got double quotes. Interesting. Outstring plus equals. Huh. So one thing that I am noticing is that all of the curl examples use double quotes for their strings. I wonder, and I don't have enough experience with Bash to know if that's just how Bash works. Oh, and I highlighted a part you guys can't see, or just a minute ago. Yeah, so this is why this wouldn't work, because the body, because that's just gonna, I mean, it's gonna fail there. Because that PowerShell string, this entire thing should be the string, not just the open curly bracket. Okay, so what needs to happen then is this body should not have quotes. And instead, we should add the quotes manually. Wait a second. There we go. That's where it should go. I think. Yeah, this is a significantly more complicated than I expected it to be. All right, so Invoke-RestMethod. So now the body, so that looks better for the body. And we've got our headers in JSON notation, which is perfect. Okay. So that fixed that problem with that specific example. So now we've got two examples working. I'm gonna go ahead and commit that. I'm gonna remove all these comments later. Actually, what I'm gonna do, don't match quotes except for escape quotes, which is slash double quotes. Okay, cool. Just make sure I'm keeping up with everything that I'm doing. And anyone else that comes behind me, and my future self that has to deal with this. Oh, this regular expression, man. It's gonna kill me. Okay. So let's go ahead and all that work for hold on. I want to see which lines that actually changed. All that work for 3 lines. Outstring. Oh, I added the quotes there, and then updating the the regular expression. Okay. Now accounts for escaped quotes in the param value. All right. So let's grab another. Let's see if we can find another example to break this some more. So there's just a huge amount of data in here. Here we go. We'll use. This one's got a value that I'm just not going to use, or not going to implement for the known for the immediate future. It has a data binary. I don't know how to do that with Invoke-RestMethod, so I'm gonna keep trolling for some other examples here. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. It's got so this one is a good one because it's got these escaped quotes inside of a header, which I have not accounted for. Okay. So let's go back to my Scratch. Curl string equals. Oh crap. Multi-line string again. So we're just going to delete. All right, and we're going to run that one, see what it looks like. I'm going to guess that it's not going to be. So here it is right here. I'll highlight it to make it a little easier to see. And I don't think I'm covering that up. I'm guessing that this is not going to be valid, and it is not. Because it came up with 3 quotes? What? Did I screw that up? No, slash question mark? Or sorry, slash quote? But it, oh, okay. So that it did this because, oh, dang it. It did it because when I have my headers, to output the headers in string format so that they actually work, I convert them to JSON and then do a convert from JSON. But in this case, with this API, it's actually passing JSON data in the header value. Wow, that's mind-blowingly complicated to deal with. Well, let's see if we can. So first of all, out of the header, well, let's start with what I know needs to happen. So first of all, out of the header, I would need to param value dot split. So I'm going to need to replace the backslash double quote with the double quote. And see what that does. If it's that easy, and I think that is. Let's try converting this from JSON and see what it looks like. This is gonna be insane if that is all it is. No, it's not that easy. Where does that curly bracket come from? I'm not sure. Huh. So that convert from. So here, let's look at the data that we're actually getting passed. So here it. Oh, let me get rid of the side panel. So here it is. So Dropbox R. So this is the key. This is the whoops. So Dropbox API-arg is the key. And this entire, oh my goodness, I am just not good with the mouse today. And this entire string right here is the value. So what I'm doing is I replace the backslash double quotes with just straight double quotes so that I convert it to JSON, but It's only, oh, the Dropbox API arg. It's literally only getting the doc ID. Like that's all because of the colon in there. Man, this might be a little more complicated. I might not be able to make this one work. Actually, I see what, okay, I see what happened. So because this, so remember this is the key, this is the value. Because there's multiple colons in there, that's what happened. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on a second, I just got a text. Might be my wife. Okay, so what we need to do is join all. So if there are multiple colons, only the first one specifies the key value. So the key is on the left, the value is on the right. But that split might, here, let's actually, you know, I can just sit here and talk. Or we can actually have an example here. So if we do working str equals, so let's actually do this with an example. Okay, so I got my working string. Let's see, match the param name. Param name dash dash header. We expected that. So since it's a, well, let's hold on. Whoops, don't want to highlight that. So let's get matches out of here. Okay, so what's going to be passed to the header to split is this guy right here, param value. I think, yeah, there we go. So this is what's going to be passed, and it splits it by the colons. So there's multiple colons that's there that it's going to be splitting by, and I need to join all of them except the first one back with a colon. So what we can do is split equals matches dot split replace. Okay, that looks good. And so the value of this key value pair for this hash table is going to be 0. And the rest of it, or sorry, the key of this key value pair is going to be 0. And the value should be the entirety of the rest of split joined with colons in case there's more than one. So let's split. So split will have 3 values, 4 values. Okay, did I missed a colon in that then? Yeah, there's another one out there. So we'll have 4 values in this case, and the key value is just going to be, or sorry, the key, if we look at this, the way it's written, the key is just that first value, and then the value is just the second value. Whoops, I accidentally hit another key on my keyboard. But there needs to be the rest of them. So is there a notation for getting the rest of an array? I think if you do 1 dot dot. Can we do? There you go. Okay, so dot dot split dot count. Join. So that rebuilds it. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness, this is such an edge case too. Okay, so split, join. But the beauty of this when it's done, or as it gets more and more done, because there's going to be a lot of edge cases, is that it'll count for more and more different things. Okay, so that should be what we're looking for. It is. Nice. Okay, so then the question is, oh, excuse me. Will that break for other examples? I don't know. Let's find out. Let me grab another curl string here for my scratch. So these are all the examples. Let's see. So here's an example that worked previously. So I'm working down here. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay, so clear screen. So convert to IRM curl. Whoa, curl string. And my head not blocking? No, it's not. So that's still, the headers still work. Okay. So now the question is, does our new curl string work? Why is that not going up? There we go. Okay, so what we should be seeing is in the headers, we've got, instead of trying to read it for notation, I'm just going to copy it out of here and do the same thing I did before. So it should actually convert to JSON just like we saw it. And it does. So this is the arg minus the escape quotes, but I don't think that's needed in PowerShell. Testing that would take, we could test that though. We could test that. I would need to create get some keys for an app in the Dropbox API. Test that. It's a little out of scope for this stream. So I think we're going to assume for now that works. Notice I'm being very careful with the wording here. I don't know for sure that works, but we're going to assume for now. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to do is grab another couple of examples. So this is another API that I use to generate some PDFs. Use it for my invoicing. But they've got, oh, here on the right. Let's zoom that in a little bit for you. So they've got some really long and complicated, here's a good one, examples. And you'll notice, oh, give me a second, sorry, my wife's calling. Hey, Tone. All right, sorry about that. Just need some help with directions. Okay, so you also notice that this is also a multi-line string. And I intended, if you remember from the beginning, to account for that, but I'm not sure. I've got about 20 minutes, so I got to wrap this up. We'll see if this works. Well, first I'm going to make this a not multi-line string. And you know what? This also has something else in it that I'm interested in making work. All right, so I'm gonna make this a single line string, but you will notice that the URL is in quotes. So I'm gonna unquote the, well, there's a lot of data in this one. So D has a single quote. Okay, so I gotta account for the URL having quotes in it. You know what? For right now, we're not gonna have quotes in the URL. Oh, but you know what the problem with this string as well is that it's got a lot of quotes in it, or double quotes, and it's got I don't know how I'm gonna make this a string in PowerShell. Oh, I do know. We'll make it a single line, multi-line string. There you go. Okay. But you will notice I took the quotes out from around the URI, whatever. I did that because I don't want to have to account for that yet, because I want to get this other thing working, and I'll submit that as an issue and go from there. So, oh, don't say never. Don't say never. Just wait till you got something simple to match with regex and use that. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I don't believe that for a second. It just takes practice. But hey, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'm just about wrapping up myself because I'm getting hungry. All this thinking about regular expressions takes a lot of work. Yeah, no, that's exactly where you start, and then as you, at least for me, I found that the more I use regular expressions, the more I want to use them, and you just try to come up with, or you end up coming with more and more complicated situations that just take more complicated regular expressions, and so you learn more and you learn more, and you see how other people do them, and you try that out, and next thing you know, you're spending 2 hours writing a regular expression to account for some weird edge case in a module for dealing with strings. I mean, okay. But yeah, hey, again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. I'll be doing this again next week, probably on Friday. So yeah. I guess if you follow me on Twitch, you'll see it. I try to get the announcement or the event up a day beforehand. It doesn't always happen, but usually does, and I'm getting better at doing that. So, okay. All right, so we're not accounting for the quotes around the URL because that's just too complicated at this point. Oh, this one had an insane amount of data in it. So to parse this, instead of reading this in the terminal, which I know I'm covering, I'm going to paste this up here. And we are going to format this a little better. So we got the URI, we got the method, we got the body. So the body is a really long one. Oh, those are headers. So the header is the convert from, there it is. Okay, so headers. Okay, so the body, this should literally just be exactly what we were given, because it's JSON format already. So it shouldn't have done anything different to that. And what is this in Chanel the cheetah? What? Sorry, it's their data. Okay, so but that should be exactly the same thing that we see in, there we go, -d, which is body for curl, but that should exactly be the same. And I'm saying it should be, but you know what we could do? We could just do this. And it's exactly the same thing. There we go. That was easy. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, and then headers. We got content type. We got XAuth key, which is part of the authentication for that PDF generator API. We've got accept. Yeah, that looks good. We've got auth workspace, looks good. Auth signature, another thing for theirs. So this by itself should actually give us a hash table, and it does. That's sweet. All right, so this, as far as I'm concerned, works. Minus accounting for that URL. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have had enough regex for today. So what changes did I make here? I don't even remember what the change I made was. Oh, yeah. Accounts for in, let's see, header value. Yeah, that works. Okay. Save all and commit. Okay. And then the last thing I want to do before I commit this officially to solve the problem is I'm gonna add a few more comments. Remove, let's see, match, let's see, match basic off. Let's see. Because I found that when I was working with Stefani, who made another PR on my repos, that I was explaining some things, and I had to read through this and forgot what was what, so I'm just going to comment this out really quick. Removes the URL. All right. There we go. Beautifully add the URI to the output. Nice. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, match the parameter name. That looks good. Don't need all of that crap. Oops. Okay, do things based on what parameter it is. Nice. Get rid of all that. Because where would we put the comment for this one? Let's put it here. Headers. Request type. Let's see. Verbosity. Body. And unknown. So this is like in the Dropbox API, they had a data binary option that curl can use. I don't know if Invoke Web Request or Rust method does that. But as soon as I figure that out, I'll probably add it here. So escaped match equals, let's see. All right, there we go. Let's see. Am I blocking that? There we go. Let's see. And then here, we want to do with the headers, since InvokeRestMethod needs a headers passed as a hash table specifically. To make it so I can pass them back in to the headers here, I got to convert it to JSON and then add it in. I figured that was easier than trying to write some logic to make a formatted PowerShell hash table. Let's see, to output a string, converting them to JSON and adding convert from JSON. Okay, so there we go. So those are all the comments that I think it needs, in my opinion. But that's also coming from someone who understands what all is happening here. So I added some comments. Okay. So we'll go ahead and push that. And for anybody that's watching, or was watching, I should have mentioned this earlier, this is all in my public Git repo, the PowerShell/curl2ps. So here it is. Oh, I need to update the examples in the README. Okay, so let's do this. So curl string equals. Because my examples don't actually have. Whoops. Don't actually have the proper output, because I didn't include the URI before. And if you've been watching for this whole time, I fixed it at the beginning. So if we go back to README and then add this here. There we go. And then get this last one as well. And just get this output and add. This is the boring part about doing streams. Sometimes you got to do commenting or help or that sort of thing. Let's see. There we go. Fix the examples after fixing the code. That's a good one. I'll save all and commit. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and push that. Okay, so I'm gonna get this PR submitted and call it a stream. Okay, so do I need to do a refresh or was I committing straight to master? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, compare and do a PR. Okay, so we were fixing number 2. Fixed issue number 2. Now supports. I've totally forgotten. Oh. Now better supports strings in parameter values. I'll reference it down here. All right. Oh, I'm gonna be a little more verbose here. Fix regex to account for quotes and parameter values. Oh, also fixed headers to account for in header values. I did that as well. Added comments, fixed example. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just the same thing from before. So I'm gonna create pull request. And yeah, we'll go ahead and merge it. Cool. Confirm. Nice. So the dev branch can be safely deleted. Okay. I'm gonna keep that dev branch around in case I need it though. So now we should be good to go. Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. That makes me feel a lot better about this as it continues to get better, hopefully. So, but yeah, if anyone's interested, I might do a blog post on this coming up because this is a pretty fun topic in my opinion. Because using PowerShell to work with REST APIs is really difficult because of all the documentations on curl. So instead of doing a huge, long, complicated blog post on converting curl to InvokeRestMethod, like I said, did a command instead. So anyway, thanks for watching. Anyone that stuck around to the end of it. And well, I guess thanks to everyone else as well. I am calling it a stream. I'll be back next week, hopefully. This will be up on YouTube. I think it takes a couple hours. I've just got to hit the export button. It takes a couple bits. Anyway, thanks for watching.